What's your go-to icebreaker line for when you meet new people? When I'm introduced to someone and they say, "Nice to meet you," I say, "Nice to be met." Wife hates it. Edit. No, I'm not a dad. Yet. Is this a dad joke? When I was younger, I used to ask people what kind of toothpaste they used. Worked surprisingly well, but maybe less charming now that I'm in my 30s. What's your major? Every person at every house party in every college town. Preceded or followed by what year are you? I went to my brother's campus in Ontario for a weekend and didn't know anyone. We went to some parties and I acted as if I had met people before, but hadn't seen them in years. Holy crap. Long time no see. How are you / how is school? I hit them with so much excitement to see them that they just went along with it and tried to figure out how they knew me. Most people probably figured that they met me once when they were wasted and didn't want to let me down. This is great practice for lying to strangers and to meet people. Do not mistake this for a recommendation to break ice with people, but more so a fun way to spend a night where you know you'll never see anyone you meet again. It's Bryce to meet Jal. This only works if your name is Bryce and you don't mind people walking away from you. Edit. Since all the Bryces are gathering here, might as well give a shout out to /r/Bryce. Last time I checked it had like one subscriber who just posted to himself about how large his penis is about 50 times. But hey, it's a fixer-upper. What is your favorite movie ever? And why isn't it Point Break? There are two types of people in the world. Those who think Point Break is the best film in the world and those who haven't seen it. I once met a nurse whilst a family member was in hospital. I opened with, "Who's the coolest guy in the hospital?" The ultrasound guy. Edit. The whole people in the morgue would be cooler has been fully tapped out. Tickle your ass with a feather. What? I said. Typical Nebraska weather. Apostrophe. Nice tattoo. People generally like to tell stories about their tattoos. Seriously, though, I'm one of those odd people who has social anxiety, but also has good social skills. It isn't hard for me to say the right things. I just feel physically sick about having to do so ahead of time. Lol. I'll just bump into them awkwardly, avoiding eye contact whilst looking at the ground, and sheepishly say my name. Sees hot girl across room. Lowers head and runs towards her like a bull. Head makes contact with hers, knocking her out. He looks away from her as she struggles to get back up from off the floor. "I'm neurodious," he whispers. When I go out to the bars at my college, I end up asking girls if they recognize me from their math class. It doesn't work if they don't have multivariable calculus, and it really doesn't work if they don't have math at all. Needless to say, it's worked about 0% of the time. But hey, my buddy thinks it's hysterical. I recently watched Godzilla, an older version, not the newest one, and during one section the scientist protagonist interrupts his general exposition / plot explanation to the female love interest to say, "Do you know that lizards can lay up to 12 eggs at a time?" So now my default icebreaker is to look soulfully into the nearest woman's eyes and say, slowly and thoughtfully, "Did you know that lizards can lay up to 12 eggs at a time?" Then I gaze off into the distance in wonder. Hey, before you say anything, let me tell you about why Hitler wasn't wrong, and what the Reich means to me. Hey babe, want to go halves on a bastard? This is brilliant. Although, I'd probably say halves is because I'm retarded. Did you see that ludicrous display last night? You joke. But at least 50% on the British male population like talking about football. Plus there's all the girls who like talking about it. That means if you follow football you always have an easy conversation starter for at least 25% of the population in the UK. You should sign up to Reddit. It's great. I'm long_wong_big_ball so lonely. How's your week so far? Nothing personal. And from there you can open up from what they say. Be it TV interests, work, family, etc. What if they respond with something as bland as, "It's going alright," apostrophe. Throw your drink in their face and yell, "Well, how's it going now, bitch?" I just try to slip in that I'm from Alaska. People typically have a lot of questions. Plus I have a ton of stories about stupid shit tourists say. Edit. Reformatted phone. It does not understand swears yet. While I'm here, I had a summer job when I was about 20 and part of my job was to talk to people that didn't want to tour a totem park. One day, which was oddly cold for August, an older man asked me what makes it so cold down here. He started talking about how it was warmer in his home state of Virginia and always wondered why the state closest to the equator was also the coldest state. It took me a little while to realize that this guy, who was probably in his 80s, had spent his entire life thinking that Alaska was an island off the coast of Mexico. Titanic. What? Oh, sorry, not a good icebreaker. Edit. So I got golden top rated comment of mine? Today is a good day. I don't have to break the ice. I'm so ducking smooth it's already broken. I'm kidding. I've been with the same woman for 10 years. We are getting married in a month. I'm not concerned with making new friends or meeting women. The irony of all this, of course, is that I have zero problem striking up completely random conversation with anyone, male or female, regardless of anything about them. The most drop-dead gorgeous woman could come up to me, and because I don't give a shit about hitting on her, I apparently come off as if I actually am. So the takeaway? Play the game like you've got nothing to lose and say whatever the hell feels right. And if it doesn't work, there are billions of other people out there. You'll be fine. I got a laugh out of all these. I think humor is a great way to break the ice. However, if you're like me and you suck at the delivery aspect of jokes, then I just go with the safer, less risky approaches. First and foremost, it's all about location. Secondly, I use phrases that are strictly unisex and not flirtatious in any way, even if you do think the guy or girl is attractive. If I'm at a bar, I'd open with, "I'm trying to decide on a drink. Any recommendations?" People who drink love talking about their favorite drinks at a party. So how do you know the host? Or insert name. In this way you can easily establish common ground regarding who you know, etc. At work, "Hey, how was your weekend?" If they answer with good/meh/okay, gauge their response and either follow up with another question or leave them be. In an elevator, lean on the wall and pretend to be on your phone. Elevators are death traps for introverts like me. What do you enjoy doing? I prefer to be friends with people who have enthusiasms and passions, even if I may not share it. I once met a guy who just loved to hang out on economics forums and argue with people there. The way he described it was so fascinating. Economics is not something I know much about at all, but I had one of the best conversations of my life with him. Mostly because he was so enthusiastic about it. Edit. Because words are hard. Darn girl. You shit from that ass. Edit. Thanks for the gold. I always thought the first time would be some long meaningful shit I wrote, but this by far is my best comment. How do you dry off when you turn off the shower? It's strangely intimate knowledge that can't be described, only shown. Not to brag, but back in 1999 I was really highly ranked in virtua tennis for the Dreamcast. Yeah, I'm kinda a big deal. Hey, do you work at Subway? No. Why? Every time I bump into you, I get a foot long. Back when NDA Club was a popular 50 Cent song, I thought telling girls I love you like a fat kid loves cake was clever. By the end of most nights I was so drunk telling girls I loved fat kids, like I love cake. Apostrophe. I think you dropped something. What? Your standards. Hi, I'm Car 27. How do you keep a stranger in suspense? I dunno. How? I'll tell you later. Hey baby, are you from heaven? Cause I'm allergic to feathers. Proceed to vomit everywhere. Walk up to a group of people. Start talking to someone in the group, not talking to the rest. So, I was ducking this guy in the ass when he reaches around and touches my balls. I'm like, dude, WTF. I'm not gay. People who pretend like they didn't hear it. I ignore those who laugh. My new friends for the night. Did you know that the original name for Pac-Man was Puck-Man? You'd think it was because he looks like a hockey puck, but it actually comes from the Japanese phrase paku paku, which means to flap one's mouth open and closed. They changed it because they thought Puck-Man would be too easy to vandalize. You know, like people could just scratch off the P and turn it into an F or whatever. Edit. Ducking Scott Pilgrim got me my highest rated comment ever. I'm not sure whether to feel good or as remorseful as Ramona ducking Scott Pilgrim. Edit 2. Thanks for the gold. I saw guy do this once. Edit 3. I tried. Questions. Edit 4. Vini vidi vici. Thank you kind redditor for the gold. I wish I could gift you a Ramona or signed copy of the book in return. But alas, thanks is all I have to offer. I have a friend who actually writes down the most generic icebreaker questions on a note card and actually pulls it out when meeting new people. Doing it with this over-the-top silly approach always makes people laugh and engages everyone in the group without fear of participating. I see you're drinking 1%. Is that cause you think you're fat? Because you're not. You could be drinking whole if you wanted to. Edit. Holy crap. This morning I was casually wondering if I can get to 100k karma by my 2-year anniversary, but wrote it off when I realized if have to average 1k per day. I'm learning that the secret might just be quoting Napoleon Dynamite. I just look them dead in the eyes and say fat penguins, then they're all like what? And I'm like, well, it's enough to break the ice. And then I go home and cry in the shower where nobody can see my tears. Edit. I'm ashamed to say it, but this is my top comment and it's about fat penguins. Reddit. You're a weird place, but I love you. I like to live on the edge. I will eat pop rocks and drink soda at the same time. What kind of risky behaviors are you into? Also, for reals, I find embarrassing stories are a great icebreaker. I have a collection of about 15 to 20 stories that are all self-deprecating humor and oh shit moments that I use as icebreakers. When it's a bunch of people I don't know, so how do you all know each other when it's just one person? So who do you know here? Genuinely works every time. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.